Hey guys, today on People Now, Meghan Markle's upgraded engagement ring bling and new details about Harry, Meghan, and baby Archie's upgraded royal cottage.
Fans are getting a never-before-seen look at the late pop star Prince in a new video with archive footage. We'll explain.
Did Dr. Phil spoil Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner's wedding details on the gram?
Maiden is a fascinating true story surrounding Tracy Edwards and the first all-female crew in a renowned sailing race around the world. The women from that crew are here with us today.
Plus,
I'm going all in.
Hannah B getting hot and heavy with some of her men as the Bachelorette season kicks up the romance and the drama.
We'll break it all down live today on People Now.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. How you feeling?
Feeling great.
Me too. Here's why. Part of it. Monday night brought us another dramatic episode of The Bachelorette.
It was a good episode.
It was maybe the best episode of the season.
I think it was.
Or were our expectations sort of tailored because last week was such a bummer? I don't know.
Maybe.
This one stuck out, though. Hannah tried to bring out a new side of the men so they could connect on a deeper level. Of course, there was drama with Luke P. that
When
continues.
is there not? But this week we want to know, in your opinion, what's the most important thing in a relationship? Is it trust? Is it respect? Is it physical attraction or communication? They're all very important.
Yeah, is there
Go to
like
their
all the
People
above?
poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow. You got to pick one.
Yeah, we're going to check in on those results and discuss how those play into the Bachelorette environment as well as we break down all the drama later in the show. But for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. We start with some royal news. When Meghan Markle introduced her son Archie to the world on May 8th, you might have missed the smaller detail that she also debuted that day, an upgraded engagement ring. The new ring was also on display at Trooping the Color, where, as you can see here, the original trio of larger diamonds appeared to have been reset in a thin micro pave band. The original setting was a solid yellow gold band. You can see it here side by side next to the new one. I think, look, if she's happy with that, I think they look amazing. The old one was a little thicker, much less blingy. Prince Harry designed the original himself. It's made up of 3 diamonds with one large stone in the center, sourced from Botswana, a place close to Harry and Meghan's heart. It's flanked by 2 smaller stones on either side from Harry's late mother, Princess Diana's personal collection. All 3 of those larger stones did make the cut for the new ring. The new pave band fits perfectly alongside Meghan's thinner Welsh gold wedding band and her new Eternity band, a gift from Prince Harry for their first wedding anniversary. That was on May 19th. Meghan doesn't only have some new bling, she has some new digs too, everybody. Frogmore Cottage is all fixed up. A Buckingham Palace source tells People that the renovation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's 5-bedroom home on the grounds of Windsor Castle is substantially completed. The source explains that much of the work was for the structural integrity of the home. For example, they replaced the ceiling beams and floor joists of the mid-1800s cottage. The heating and electrical systems were also outdated and inefficient, so they needed upgrades. And new gas and water mains were also introduced on the property. Now, all of that construction work was conducted over a 6-month period, and according to figures released by the palace on Monday, it cost around $3 million. This was paid for by British taxpayers through the Queen's annual sovereign grant. While it might seem pricey, it's all part of the wider $55 million spent by the Queen to conserve royal palaces over the past 12 months. According to the source, all fixtures and fittings were paid for by the Royal Highnesses. Extras like curtain furnishings, all that would be paid separately and privately by Harry and Meghan. Now, on top of that, anything that seemed too expensive for the public to provide, such as upgraded kitchen or bathroom, Harry and Meghan would dip into their own pockets for that as well. The royal couple did renovate the interior of the historic home earlier this year in anticipation of the arrival of baby Archie. They've also tended to the outside of the property, redecorating the exterior doors, windows, and walls, and re-landscaping the garden. Contrary to previous reports, there is no yoga studio or floating wooden floor, which had been speculated about before. The end result is just a cozy, very private home for Harry and Meghan to raise their new son, Archie. We wish them the best in that new home. All right, Real Housewives of New York City star Luann Lesseps is writing a tell-all book. And as she told Page 6, she plans to use the memoir as a chance to set the record straight about the last few years of her life. They've been pretty tumultuous. There's her divorce from Count Alexander de Lesseps in 2009, her brief marriage to Tom D'Agostino Jr. then. They married on New Year's Eve in 2016 and split after just 8 months. On top of all that, de Lesseps has experienced some high-profile run-ins with the law. In December 2017, you might remember she was arrested in Palm Beach. She was charged with disorderly intoxication, battery on an officer, resisting arrest with violence, and threatening a public servant. She sought treatment for the first time for substance abuse after that incident in January of 2018, then again in July of the same year after a relapse. She's since admitted to breaking her sobriety after that second stint in rehab with 2 mimosas after a performance in Chicago. She was most recently taken into custody in May 2019 over alleged probation violations, but was later released for that. About the memoir, de Lesseps elaborated to Page 6. She said, "I've been keeping a diary of everything that's happened to me. I've been sober for 8 months, and the therapist urged you to be honest about yourself. Many of the things written about me have been false. So this book is my chance to lay myself bare and also set the record straight." So what do you think she's going to discuss? I will be interested to see how many of the other housewives are mentioned in her book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of drama surrounding her, especially this season, but she's been through a lot with this struggle. So I think it'll be really good for people to read about how she's kind of overcome this and all the rehab and everything. Yeah. But there's a lot of rumors, so hopefully she'll kind of it'll end up, no doubt, playing out in the show to some degree as the other ladies read and
what
if, the housewives were mentioned, they're going to be upset about it. So it only helps the show, of course.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all plays out. All right, listen to this. It's just another manic Monday. You're looking at never-before-seen archive footage of the artist known as Prince. Warner Records released the recently discovered 1984 footage as a brand new music video for Prince's original recording of Manic Monday. The late singer-songwriter is seen with his then band, The Revolution, rehearsing for a live show and running through the dance routine for the When Doves Cry video. Manic Monday is featured on Prince's new album Originals, which was released by his estate on June 21st. It contains tracks written and recorded by Prince and made famous by other artists. According to Rolling Stone, the record was compiled as a means to end the artist's contract with the streaming service Tidal. Manic Monday was actually a staple hit for the Bangles, but the song was written by Prince in 1984. The same year, he composed Nothing Compares to You, which became an international hit for Sinead O'Connor, which now goes by Jehuda David. The LP also features tracks like Jungle Love, Sex Shooter, and Baby You're a Trip. Originals follows last year's Piano and a Microphone 1983, which is a collection of intimate home recordings by Prince. I think this is really cool that we get to hear this. Prince's estate, alongside Random House, will also release a new memoir titled The Beautiful Ones, which is out this fall. It will include snippets of Prince's handwritten lyrics and original scrapbooks, as well as never-before-seen photos. Prince died of an accidental overdose on April 21st, 2016, at the age of 57. I just feel like it's going to be really interesting to see, first of all, it's never-before-seen footage, but the songs that we know so well from other artists, hearing his spin on it, how it would have sounded if he had released them, that's really interesting.
A lot of nostalgia seeing that archive footage that we haven't seen before, so it's really cool.
All right, you have more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Trek today with one star who isn't letting a rough start to 2019 get her down. On Monday, Jordyn Woods announced her new clothing line with the UK-based company Boohoo, posting an Instagram teaser video with the caption, "Something exciting is coming." The announcement comes just one day after the dramatic Keeping Up with the Kardashians finale kicked off, which played out the Jordyn, Khloe, Tristan drama from early 2019. Can't forget that. Jordyn's full collection with Boohoo is set to be released on Wednesday. Now, this is Jordyn's second collab with the company, and fans showed their support in her Insta comments, with one user writing, "We are buying everything, period." Megastar SZA also commented on the post with 3 heart emojis. The Jordyn, Khloe, Tristan cheating scandal finally played out on part 1 of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians finale on Sunday. We learned that Kim Kardashian learned about Jordyn and Tristan's alleged affair through her BFF, Larsa Pippen. So here's the moment from Sunday's episode where Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, and Kylie are on a conference call trying to piece together what happened. Watch.
I can't remember if we kissed. I said, if you are too nervous to tell me something, you can text me. And she said, okay, I'll call you in 5 minutes. She hasn't called me, and that was like 20 minutes ago.
No, but why did Jordyn have to say she had to call you back?
It's very weird. Exactly.
This is the first time I'm hearing she was sitting on his line.
I mean, I need the whole truth.
The music is everything. Part 2 of the dramatic Keeping Up with the Kardashians finale airs Sunday night on E, so don't miss it. All right, now watch this.
My birthday was yesterday, and everybody forgot. I got really dressed up and excited, and no one said a word.
So sad. Everyone might have forgotten Kelly's birthday on The Office, but we did not forget that Monday was Mindy Kaling's 40th birthday. Happy birthday to her. The actress kicked off her birthday celebrations by pledging to donate $40,000 to multiple charities, saying in part, quote, "I'm so grateful to have my wonderful, peaceful life with my daughter, Catherine. How lucky am I to turn 40? I would love to express my gratitude by donating $1,000 to 40 different charitable organizations that help others." She then took suggestions from fans on Twitter and spent her day donating walking away. How awesome is that? That's so cool. Mindy also posted a hilarious Instagram video of herself going through her daily tasks while dancing all day to a not safe for work birthday song. She added the caption, "When your birthday falls on a Monday and you want to turn up but still have responsibilities, we feel your pain." But her birthday falling on a Monday did not stop Mindy from getting glammed up to paint the town red that night in this sparkly red ensemble. She looks so happy, so chic. And when you turn 40, it's only right that you get a custom drink menu. I could go for a Mindy Mule right about now. Love it. Got some vodka, ginger beer, lime juice, everything you need. Happy birthday to Mindy. All right, watch this.
What do you want, Peter? I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
In Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter Parker is jet-setting off on a school trip to Europe. The cast filmed in gorgeous locations like Venice, Prague, and London. But we had to wonder, did the actors themselves ever get to go on an awesome trip like this in school? According to them, not quite.
Not to this extent. I mean, like
Yeah,
a
never.
camping school trip or something, like a small trip, but this is like...
We once had a sleepover at my middle school in the cafeteria, and that was
Yeah,
like
same.
that was like a thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. We, in England, like, that is not a thing. Sleeping at school would be like a mad no-no.
Come on, I grew up in the 50s. We didn't do stuff like that. I'm old. Every now and then we would go and watch a concert, the symphony or something like that, but, we didn't leave town. And, well, I left town because I was in the band. So we traveled to football games and basketball games, and we had those kinds of trips, or go to band contests.
Nice. I'm imagining Samuel Jackson on band trips all the time now. Spider-Man Far From Home hits theaters July 2nd, so be sure to check it out. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. They're the all-female sailing crew who made history racing around the world. A new movie features their amazing story, and they're going to join us live. Plus, Dr. Phil just spilled the beans about one celeb couple's high-profile wedding plans. We got all the details about this.
All right, so Monday night's Bachelorette saw Hannah getting to know the men on a deeper level than ever before. So we've been asking you guys what's the most important thing in a relationship in our People poll. So let's take a look. It's like trust. Yeah.
So we were talking about this. Can you have trust without good communication?
I don't know. They kind of all go in. Can you have trust without respect?
Can you have respect
without
trust?
communication?
I don't know.
Communication
is the linchpin, I
At
think.
least we can all agree that the physical attraction isn't the number one.
No.
But it's also important.
It's definitely important, yeah. Especially, I think early on, right? Like, usually there's a spark of physical attraction at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of sets off from there.
All right, keep voting. We'll break down the entire episode in just a bit, but for now, we move on to this.
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are set to tie the knot for the second time in an upcoming wedding in France. Now, thanks to Dr. Phil, we might know when.
Yeah, so let's get into this. Here's what happened. On Saturday, both Sophie and Joe posted the same sweet photo in Paris. They're leaning into each other, sharing a kiss with the Eiffel Tower behind them. Very romantic. Then Dr. Phil commented on the photo. He might have said too much.
Yeah, in an exchange captured by comments by celebs, Dr. Phil was caught writing, "Easy now, 1 week to go. Ha, see you at the wedding."
Uh-oh.
So the cat's kind of out of the bag here. According to that comment, the ceremony should take place this weekend. It's pretty funny. One Instagram user commented on the post saying, "OMG, Dr. Phil spilled the beans." Another user chimed in saying, "Of all the people to spill the tea, it's Dr. Phil."
Because those two were pretty much staying mum on the actual details and the date. Now, a lot of fans are wondering how the couple even know the TV host, but both Sophie and Joe had made appearances on his podcast, Fill in the Blanks. And Dr. Phil isn't the first celebrity to give away details about the couple's wedding. When the pair first tied the knot in a small Las Vegas ceremony last month, Diplo live streamed it on his Instagram. Joe even joked that Diplo ruined the ceremony. He also said, "I love Diplo, but he loves his Instagram more than a 13-year-old. He posts every 5 seconds. He literally live streamed with dog face filters."
The best part. After that wedding ceremony, a source told People that Sophie and Joe planned a traditional wedding in Europe this summer, but they had to get married in the States to make it official first. There were some technicalities there. Regardless of all the details, we cannot wait to see those wedding photos.
All hail the queen of beauty and fashion inclusivity. Rihanna fans are going crazy on social media after she used curvy mannequins to model her designs at her new NYC pop-up store.
Yes, the ranging body sizes that were showcased are a huge deal. Some are calling it the first time they've ever seen their actual bodies reflected on mannequins. She presented those mannequins at the Webster in Soho. What's special about the mannequins is that they were tailored to represent a variety of body types. So many tweets sent out that just praised and supported Rihanna. One person even saying that the mannequins had love handles and a stomach pouch.
I love that Rihanna is doing this. One fan commented on how Rihanna's presentation of her clothing will benefit how many clothes she sells, writing, "It's beautiful and a relief to see. Realistic models and mannequins can only benefit the stores and designers. People can see what they will literally look like in the clothes, selling more clothing and lowering returns." All right, let's get into some of the tweets because nothing sums up their excitement more than these.
One fan tweeted, "I was today years old when I seen my first mannequin with hip dips like me. Thank you, Fenty."
This one's sweet. One Twitter user wrote, "I have hip dips and saw it as an imperfection, and now a Fenty mannequin has them and they look bomb."
Then there's this one. One fan tweeted, "Why did Rihanna putting her clothes on mannequins with hip dips make me so emotional?"
I mean, it's amazing because, you know, traditionally mannequins are just so thin and a lot of people can't really relate to them, and you're trying to try on these clothes and you can't really see how they would fit your body.
Yeah, to see this representation obviously means a lot to a lot of people.
And Rihanna isn't just talking about unrealistic beauty standards, she's actually doing something to change them. You can already see the big impact she's making. She's bringing inclusivity and body diversity to the fashion industry, and we love that.
Rihanna recently opened up about changes in her own body, saying it has made her hyper aware of varying shapes and sizes. She now keeps that in mind while she's designing. During an E! Interview, she told the outlet, quote, "Of course we have our fit models, which is the standard size for factories. Then I want to see it on my body. I want to see it on a curvy girl with thighs and a little bit of booty and hips. Now I have boobs that I never had before." She then added, "All these things I take into consideration because I want women to feel confident in my stuff."
And Fenty isn't the only fashion brand that has started carrying varying mannequin sizes in its stores. Earlier this month, Nike also introduced a line of curvy mannequins in its London flagship as part of a special floor dedicated to just women.
Town Quay, Southampton, 7 a.m. and the dawn of the 5th round the world race.
To actually wake up that morning and think, okay, today we have to set off and sail around the world, is a little bit of a daunting morning.
If you're not on edge already, you are at that point.
And around the world they went. Maiden is the new documentary that follows the journey of the first all-female crew to compete in the Whitbread Round the World race. We're so excited to be joined now by several members of that original crew. Welcome Tracy Edwards, Joe Gooding, Claire Russell, Sally Hunter, and Dawn Riley. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's such an honor. This documentary is so powerful, so inspiring, especially as a woman. What do you guys hope that women take away after watching this?
I know that people walk out of the cinema after watching it going, right, I can do anything. We even had one tweet saying, okay, I'm going to sail around the world. Oh, wait, no, I can't sail. I don't like water and I get seasick.
But it was that inspiring. Even that person thought about it.
Absolutely.
Wait, tell me about this. Whoopi Goldberg is hosting the premiere. What's the deal?
Well,
that's it.
So Queen Noor of Jordan is hosting along with Whoopi Goldberg and various other amazing women who I hope appreciate that we did that. And King Hussein of Jordan sponsored Maidens, and Queen Noor is his wife.
So it's all these great times.
What about for the rest of you? What's a message that you hope women and everybody kind of walks away with after?
Well, exactly that. That if you dream it, you can do it. If you work hard, and that most, it's not for there is a lot of luck involved. You have to, you have to get the right people. I suppose what I took away from that is just the power of a good team.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, very much teamwork.
Yeah, and I am shocked that it's 30 years later now, and we're still surprising people that a women's team can go around the world. We've done it again and again and again, and still people are going, are you serious? That's possible? The good news is that there's another generation that's discovering that it happened and it is possible. So we're opening up new eyes.
And then this documentary, bringing it to a whole new audience and continuing that exact thing. Tracy, you've kind of spearheaded this whole adventure. Tell us about that moment. So you drop out of school, right? You end up on a charter, and then boom, you fell in love with sailing. What made you fall in love with sailing in the first place?
Escape, really, if I'm honest. I wasn't really sort of following any path. It was a way of getting away from everything in my childhood. And doing the Whitbread Round the World race for me was essentially, I think, a little bit selfish to start off with, because I did the race in 85, 86 as one of only 3 women out of 230 crew. And I just went, what is wrong with this picture? So I did Maiden because I wanted to navigate on a boat. I didn't want to cook, so I needed to change the world that I lived in to look like I wanted it to look like.
Yeah, and the Whitbread is very dangerous, daunting. People die on this. So did you know right away that this was the one you wanted to attack? Why was it so important to you?
I guess I fell into doing the 85-86 race, and then when I realised so few women were doing it, I just thought, wait a minute, what is going on here? And then came together with these amazing women who all felt the same way. And I think we started out really just for ourselves. You know, this is Maiden, we want to prove that we can sail around the world. And then so many women gravitated towards it, and so many people gravitated towards it. Maiden ended up being a symbol for anyone who's been told you can't do something and you have to fight for it.
Yeah, there's these great themes and sort of this incredible adventure to draw you in. But what was the draw for you, Joe? What was it about this that made you feel like, oh, I want to be a part of this?
Gosh, well, I had a dream of sailing around the world, and then me and Tracy were friends, and I heard that she was putting together the Whitbread project. In all honesty, I really didn't know what the Whitbread was, but I knew that I wanted to do it. And they said, well, you can't do it unless you're the cook on board, because I can cook. So it's like, well, I'll do that then. I don't care what I do, but I just want to be a part of it.
And Joe also filmed about 90% of the footage that you see, which is extraordinary footage, and the documentary wouldn't be what it would without Joe.
Yeah. With a big old-fashioned...
It was actually bigger than Joe.
Yeah. Lucky it didn't fall off that boat at some point, right?
Oh, she nearly did.
I mean, big heavy camera.
We did tie her on several times.
Yeah. Being the first all-female crew, you guys ran into a lot of obstacles along the way. Media scrutiny. It was crazy how people were like betting against you and thinking you wouldn't even make the first leg. I couldn't believe it. But what was one obstacle that you faced that you actually did have a moment of doubt of, wait, maybe we won't be able to do this?
I don't think we ever had any doubt that
there was never any doubt.
No. We did worry every time we ran out of money, and we had to find more money until King Hussein came in and sponsored us with Royal Jordanian Airlines. But as from a physical point of view and a mental process, we never doubted that we could get around the world. And that's why we were living in this strange, you know, sort of parallel universe where we were a competitive team racing around the world to win. And everyone else is going, oh, do you think they're going to live? Do you think they'll survive?
It's like, going, what a terrible thing to have that as a conversation.
I mean, we all know how tough women are. It was so mind-boggling to me that when you guys were doing interviews and press, that people would ask, well, what about your chapped lips? And I'm like, I mean, that made me my mouth. I was like, wait, what?
She did apologise to me about 20 years later. She would interview me again for something else, and she went, I'm so sorry about the chapped lips thing. But it was of the time.
Yeah, it was of the time. That's true.
We didn't really, you know, weren't surprised by it, and that's in a way not what we were fighting against. We were fighting against the sort of the bigger picture, and we shut a lot of that out, didn't we? It was like white noise, and we kept our eyes on the goal, and we went for it.
I think you're so busy as well during the project, you know, when you actually have to physically get a boat together and get all you need on board and all the experience and everything that you need to actually keep yourself safe. You don't really have an awful lot of time to be thinking about what other people are thinking of you because you're so busy doing it.
There's the practical part of it. Sally, you were the helm. Don, you were the watch captain. When you think about that first round, right, and you're out at sea, here it goes, what are the memories that come up for you in terms of, I guess, the practical parts of just pulling it off and like, here we go, we're kind of in it now?
Yeah, you just get into a rhythm. You're in a watch system of 4 hours on, 4 hours off, and you're just physically getting through every watch and doing your best to keep the boat going as quickly as possible, because at the end of the day, it is a race. So you're not just keeping yourself safe, you're keeping yourself within the parameters of safety.
And competition, right?
And competition.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in those 4 hours, and then you get some rest, and then you come up and you do the whole thing again, and it just goes on like that. Repeat.
Yeah. And I know that you guys were very much like eye on the prize. You wanted to win. But when did it sink in where you were actually making history? When did that kind of all kind of come to fruition where you realized, wow, we're really making a difference here?
After.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think arriving back into the UK and people meeting us, and when they first started to meet us, we thought, oh, is there a race on? There was there was a couple of boats, and then all of a sudden this flotilla arrived, and we thought, crikey,
600
boats. You know, who are they here to see?
Yeah.
And then that was when we realised, I think, a little bit that this was a lot bigger than our particular race. There was a much bigger picture happening. It was a very interesting political time in the world, 89, 90, and also for women as well. You know, there was a lot of changes, and I think there was a bit of symbolism in all of it, and
Yeah, and Tracy, you, in one of the interviews shown in the film, you say that you hate the word feminism. or feminist. What is it about that? What's your kind of perspective on that?
I could kill my younger self for saying that. Well, at the time, you know, I was 23, 24 when I did that interview. And feminism had been made into an ugly, horrible word. And it was, I think, used by men to divide women. You know, oh, feminist, it has all these horrible connotations. And at that young age, I didn't want people not to like me. So I said, I'm not a feminist. I just want to do what I'm allowed, what I want to do. And I want equality. So in essence, I was essentially describing feminism. But when we got into New Zealand and we had won our second leg and we sat in the press conference and we listened to the same questions. Are you all still getting on? You know, and all these questions, I thought, do you know what? I think I am a feminist. I think I'm a big fat feminist.
Yeah. It's so true. Also, the fact that you brought all these women together, like you are a feminist. I think, looking back, it was just a term that you weren't really sure what it meant at the time or whatever.
We've reclaimed it.
You've reclaimed it. There you go. What is the biggest misconception about female sailors, even today?
Oh, strength and stamina. And this is such a you know, a myth because we don't have the brute bulk force of men, but we had the boat set up the way we wanted it so that we could race it. And women have more stamina. We are known to have more stamina. We have children. We have to have more stamina. We're nurturers. We have to keep going in the face of anything. And the other thing that's interesting to note is women last longer in life rafts than men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Hey, facts are facts.
We live longer.
Facts are facts, science is science. What were you going to say?
I just want to point out, I was president of the Women's Sports Foundation, and statistically, men are somewhat stronger on the upper body and women are somewhat stronger on the lower body, but a significant portion of the upper body difference is directly attributed to non-conditioning. So girls don't throw footballs as much and baseballs and whatever and do push-ups. So it's really not that big of a difference. And I am the size of many men, so I compete equally with the guys.
When you guys look back at the overall impact of the race and everything, how would you say the experience changed your life the most?
I think, I don't speak for all of us, but I think we all felt at the end that something amazing had happened. We weren't quite sure what. I mean, it changed me forever. It made me a lot more determined to follow my goals and, you know, sort of not give up. And I went on to do other all-female crews. We're taking Maiden around the world again, and we're raising money for girls' education. And for me, that's a natural progression because, as Dawn said, 30 years later, we are still having the same conversation we had 30 years ago. So, you know, we've tackled it here. Dawn, you know, teaches young people to sail. We do girls' education because if it's not working there, let's get in at grassroots. And so that's what it's taught me, to just find a way through to get girls out there, to get women doing what we know they can do.
Yeah, what about for the rest of you? How's it changed your life?
I don't think you could do that with this bunch of girls for that long and it not change. I mean, I think it changed everybody's direction, regardless of where we came from into it. And it's that power of a team, it's that power of friendship, it's the power of not giving up. And yeah, I mean, and I met my husband.
And
that's pretty significant. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that was quite useful. That was quite easy.
We've also got a bond between us that not really very many people have. You know, you have a lot of friendships that you call friendships that you would go out with somebody on a Saturday night for, but it's not very often you really get close friends that we've now got.
Yeah.
So, which is always an amazing thing that I think we've been very lucky that we have that between us.
We do spend a lot of time apart, obviously, because we're all over the place, but we get back together and within 5 seconds, we're right back there.
Yeah. Has it been nice, this sort of wave of doing press and everything for the movie? Has it been nice to reconnect this time around?
Oh, it's been amazing. Yeah. It's nice for them all to come to America.
Yeah, right? Okay, finally you get to be the host.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ladies.
you.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you guys. Be sure to check out Maiden. It hits select theaters on June 28th.
It's you.
It's me.
I saw you in the street.
Are you Annie? Yes.
You're Annie?
This must be yours. I'm Jonah. This is my dad. His name's Sam. Hi, Jonah. Sam.
It gets us Every time. Hard to believe, but Tuesday marks the 26th anniversary of Sleepless in Seattle, starring Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. It is hard to believe it's been that long. 1993 is when it came out.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan have starred in a number of films together, of course. There's You've Got Mail, about two business rivals who fall in love with each other over the internet when that whole craze was just starting. One of their first films together was Joe versus the Volcano, about a hypochondriac who throws himself in a volcano on a tropical island, as you do. They are a dynamic duo, though. They became, obviously, this iconic cinematic couple.
They really are. And Sleepless in Seattle left a big mark on everyone, from Jonah calling into the radio show for the first time, to Annie grabbing her phone and the radio to hide in the closet to listen to Jonah, and of course, meeting at the Empire State Building. So the movie was written and directed by Nora Ephron. It was her first big hit, and according to her, certain plot points were taken from the 1957 classic An Affair to Remember, specifically that Empire State Building scene, which is really cool.
Yeah, and one of the most memorable scenes from the movie, as we saw there. Here are a couple more facts about Sleepless in Seattle. Tom Hanks originally turned down the role. He didn't think he was right for the part, which
That's crazy.
Hard to imagine anyone else doing it now in hindsight, of course.
Here's another one. A young Jason Schwartzman auditioned to play the role of Jonah, Tom Hanks' son, in the movie. Jason would have been about 10 at the time.
Doing the math. Yep, 10 years old. The role ultimately went to Ross Malinger, who no longer works in entertainment. He runs an automobile company in Malibu, creating reproductions of classic cars, which is a pretty cool job.
It's a really cool job. If you guys haven't seen Sleepless in Seattle, now's the perfect time to check it out.
And generally, just watch all Tom Hanks movies all the time. You'll like that. All right, watch this.
I'm going all in.
Hannah went bungee jumping naked with Garrett. That was a slap in my face.
You're not my husband. You don't own my body. You don't own me. It's my body.
You told her you were pissed off at the way she acted.
You gonna let me finish?
No.
Keep opening your chest up, bro. Keep your mouth shut and let me get my point across.
I'm not going to keep my mouth shut on this one.
You up another cocktail thing, you're going to have me really pissed.
Promise me that this isn't gonna go into tomorrow's roast ceremony.
Why should I promise you anything, man?
Tell me that.
Sweet dreams, Luke.
So the line of all Bachelor history, sweet dreams, Luke, bye-bye.
All right, guys, today's Bachelorette recap is presented by McDonald's McDelivery. Download Uber Eats to order.
And now here to break down Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette is People's writer and reporter Jody Guglielmi. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Let's talk about...
This was a good episode.
It was really good.
As I was watching, I was like, is it the best of the season? Is it really the best of the season? Or was last week so depressing and terrible that this one seems even better?
I think this was a great episode, but I think it's gonna get better.
I do too.
I think it's only gonna get better.
Finally, it's turned around.
I know.
Let's talk about Garrett. He scores the first one-on-one in Latvia. They had this very revealing date. Naked bungee jumping, because that's what they do there at that particular place. It was a tourist thing to do, and so they did it. First of all, what'd you think of this as a one-on-one idea?
I thought it was really funny. What better way to get to know somebody, maybe? It's been a very revealing season. We've been seeing more and more of the men, and this finally
we really saw more of the men.
Would you do it? Would you do naked bungee jumping?
I don't know if I would bungee jump in general. So naked bungee jumping would only take my anxiety even higher. But I do see Hannah's point. When in Rome or when in Latvia. Why not?
I would actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so Garrett gets the rose. They have the group date, exploring Latvia and everything. Everything seems to be going really well, but then Luke P, he's not himself because he's beside himself because he's thinking about Hannah's one-on-one, thinking about them being naked together. The other guys kind of seem unfazed though, so why is it bothering Luke so much?
I think Luke's a jealous guy. He's kind of proven that from the start. He thought he was going to be the #1 guy coming in. Hannah has knocked him down a few pegs, and now she's naked with another guy. I mean, I think he's spiraling, and this was the icing on the cake.
It really was.
And then he approaches her and he uses some choice words, kind of says a bonehead move.
Oh my God,
I mean,
yeah.
what did you think of how he approached her and talked about it with her?
I actually, maybe an unpopular opinion, I understand him maybe being a little bothered by it, but I agree that the language he used was horribly wrong. Calling it a boneheaded mistake, a slap in the face, and then introducing her to his family into question, I was like, whoa, chill out. Like, it's a lot.
So I do think that Luke has a point. No one wants to see their significant other naked bungee jumping with someone else.
Or hear about it, yeah, it's hard.
He kind of turned it on her instead of just saying, yeah, maybe I was a little jealous.
Also, there's always a point in the season where for some of the contestants, especially I think the guys in this situation anyway, where the idea of dating someone someone in normal life kind of collides with the realities of this show.
In normal life, this would not fly.
No,
Right,
this would never fly if you were just dating someone. But yeah, of course. And so I get why there's that feeling, but it's like also every guy's jealous, but you have to temper it a little bit.
And remember, this is the Bachelorette.
The show, right? Yeah.
I know you're gonna see the girl with other men, and you have to be okay with that. You literally signed up for it.
It was also a big mistake, I think, on his part, and he kind of acknowledged this, and she definitely called him out for thinking he had the right to sort of weigh in this way. It's like she said, "You're not my husband. Like we don't even have like a fully established relationship. You can't weigh in on what I'm allowed to do."
They're not exclusive.
Yeah.
It is so clearly the opposite of an exclusive arrangement.
If you're not exclusive, you can go naked bungee jumping
with whoever you want.
And you're on The Bachelorette, by the way, also. Let's talk about this. Tyler C got the group date rose. Then the next one-on-one went to fan favorite and one of our favorites, Peter the Pilot. Peter and Hannah have a steamy, maybe the most steamy and intimate date. By the way, Luke should have been way more upset about this.
I agree.
Because this was truly intimate at the spa. Not that part particularly. There we go. Do you think Peter is somebody that the other guys should be worried about?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
I mean,
right?
they have a really strong connection.
And the way it was shot led us to believe they have quite a connection.
Yes. I mean, I totally agree. Luke should have been way more, I think he would have been way more upset watching that because Hannah said that bungee jumping wasn't sexual. Oh, that's sexual.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining.
No, and I love them together. They seem to get along so easily, and they just kind of fit with one another. It seems very natural.
But she was very adamant that she wanted to make sure there was more than just the physical connection there with him because that's on fire. It could easily overshadow the rest. And he came through in that next section where they were just, fake eating and talking.
Right.
He really came through with some really impressive things and actually seemed very
I
genuine.
really like him. I feel like they could have a future together.
Yeah.
He seems
No, for
like
sure.
husband material.
Yeah, he does.
For sure. So Peter gets the rose. Now we head to a surprise one-on-one with Jed, who misses Hannah, and then he wants to just show up. So he came to the hotel and sang outside of it. Were you expecting this? I mean, forget about the drama surrounding Jed at the moment with all of that, but what do you think of their connection?
I think they have a strong connection. Normally, we see somebody breaking off and doing a surprise one-on-one and them having ulterior motives, but I think he genuinely just wanted to get some time with her, so I appreciated that. I do, though, I'm like, oh, this music career. Ever since he said, I originally came here for my music career, and then now he's serenading her for what seemed like an hour
and that
or so.
scandalous story from last week with his supposed ex who said that he told her he's just doing it for his music.
And his new songs are getting a lot of airtime and playtime.
And he literally, they gave him like an entire, he played almost an entire song.
I know.
The lyrics were a little cheesy at times, but nonetheless, whole song.
I'm watching it with, glasses now that I'm like, I don't know, Jed. Like everything he does, I'm a little, I don't know.
Then he was laying in,
trust it.
Then he was laying in bed with her, basically saying like, I can say this confidently, I'm falling in love with you. And I'm just thinking about his ex watching that part. If she had trouble watching him kiss for the first time. Anyway, it always gets crazy and things come to a head at some point in every episode. This time, Garrett confronts Luke about what he's been saying about the whole bungee jumping thing to everyone. Things get a little tense. Let's take a look.
I just think that asking Hannah about details on a date that you weren't on, that was coming out of your lane.
Listen, she's your girlfriend, but she's also mine. So it's my business. And I just want to make sure this right now is not brought up at the rose ceremony.
Why is it your business what Hannah and I talk about tomorrow's rose ceremony?
Can you just promise me that this isn't going to go into tomorrow's rose ceremony? Tell me that.
Why should I promise you?
Just tell me.
Why should
Are you going to make a big deal of this tomorrow?
Why should I promise you?
Are you going to make a big deal of this tomorrow?
Why should I promise you anything, man?
Yeah, in case you didn't know it was dramatic, they made sure the music let us know it was very dramatic. Luke seems to be on a spiral. It's funny to me that he's like, don't talk about me after I just talked to you about Hannah the whole time. That was a weird situation. What does Luke need to do to get out of his head?
Probably leave the show.
Yeah.
I think he's so deep into it. I think his insecurities are just bubbling over. He's trying to come off as this like strong guy, and it's not reading right. I don't think that this is the relationship for him. I don't think this is the dating situation for him.
Yeah, but
it's not
if you're him, the one thing that does get you through, she keeps going to bat for him and
and
forgives 1,000
She even says she doesn't know if she's falling in love with him or he's making her crazy. And I think it might be the latter. All of those guys that make us crazy.
We've all had that guy or the girl who like we go back to and we're just like, I know I shouldn't date you, but
It's like so
I
wrong.
get it.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was funny Garrett saying he wouldn't promise Luke that he wouldn't talk about it in the cocktail party. when Garrett has asked Luke to do that exact same thing.
Garrett likes the drama.
Garrett
he
loves
does.
it.
He's stewing in it.
Oh yeah, he's poking the bear.
He's dropping the one-liners. Good night, Luke. Sweet dreams, Luke. Whatever.
What? Came in there with a script.
Something I did like though, Hannah did then go back to Luke and talk about how she felt when he was talking about that date that she had. You know, people criticize The Bachelorette and The Bachelor for being misogynistic. Do you think that this conversation and how they're editing this and showing this will maybe change the show a little bit?
I think it will. I think Hannah is showing a great example of what it means to be a strong woman, to stand up for yourself. I know I've been in situations where a guy has said something and after the fact I've been like, oh, wait a minute. Like, that wasn't the best way to say that. And then I haven't said anything. And so I think it's amazing and awesome and a great example to other women watching the show that, like, you should stand up for yourself. And if something someone says bothers you, address it.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
And also to defend some of the other dudes a little bit, they really came to bat for her and said, like, Luke, you should not be trying to tell this woman what she can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, when Luke returns to the guys, he tells everyone to stay in their lane. There's kind of a bit of a blame game going on. He's blaming them for his wrongdoings. Tyler calls him out for the double standard. He specifically mentions that Luke wore a Speedo on the first group date, but then says, oh, what, she can't go bungee jumping naked. Chris Harrison walks in, saves the day as he does, reveals that Hannah's emotional. There will not be a cocktail party. Now this is the third cocktail party in a row that arguably has been ruined because of Luke. The other guys were even saying, don't ruin this one. Still happened. Jody, at this point, what are the rest of the guys going through right now?
I think they are so fed up with Luke. I think they want him gone. And I think they're realizing that Luke is directly impacting their time with Hannah and possibly their relationships with her. And so regardless if Luke comes out the winner or not, these guys are going to feel like they were never given a fair shot because he was so far overshadowing everything.
The whole thing.
All right, so Dustin and Dylan are eliminated. Not sure who they are.
Okay, bye.
Bye. But then we see some drama in the teaser, kind of about Peter the pilot. So maybe there's some drama. What's your predictions for next week?
Like I said, I think it only gets better from here. I think that this season is doing a really great job of taking real life dating scenario issues and bringing them into The Bachelor and Bachelorette, which we don't always see. Sometimes it's just such this fantasy world and you're like, okay, but when are you guys gonna talk about this, this, and this? And they are talking about it. So it's very interesting.
Was that them talking there? No,
Yeah,
you
I
just
think
missed
so.
the hardcore makeout
All right, before we let you go, we're taking one last look at our People poll. We've been asking our viewers what's the most important thing in a relationship. All right, you got trust, respect, physical connection, or communication. Well, it looks like trust.
What do you think? If you had to say.
I think it would be a tie between trust and respect. If one of those are missing, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I've been saying it all day, but I think communication, guys, is the bedrock of trust and respect. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Wow.
All right.
Let me know if you have any other questions.
So wise.
I know.
My old age.
Thank you,
all right.
Jody, for being here. Of course. It's a fun one. We'll be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow on People Now, so tune in for that.
Coming up tomorrow as well, Emma Greenwell, Olivia Munn, and Jolie Richardson dish on their new psychological thriller series. It's called The Rook.
Plus, we're joined live by Lauren Scruggs to chat about her new initiative that's celebrating and supporting women. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Chaz Palminteri and Theo Rossi. Bye.
Bye, guys.
This is Theo Rossi.
This is Chaz Palminteri.
And this is one last thing.
Okay. The last show I watched was Chernobyl.
No, Chernobyl is on fire. The last show I binge watched, like everyone else, is Game of Thrones.
My last big splurge was my sports car. A Corvette. It's a brand new Stingray, yeah. I always just wanted one.
Nice. My last big splurge, everything my kids do. Vacations,
oh God, yeah.
Flying, everything.
The last song I listened to on repeat was This Town by Frank Sinatra.
The last song I listened to on repeat was, and I'm gonna forget the title, is the Anderson .Paak Smokey Robinson song.
Do you wanna make it better?
It's a terrific song.